What if I told you that right there in your own kitchen, inside your refrigerator, inside your pantry, sitting on your countertop this very moment, there are substances you consume every single day that are silently, gradually, and devastatingly damaging two of the hardest working organs in your entire body. Not occasionally, not in extreme amounts, daily, in ordinary portions, in foods you have been eating your whole life without a single moment of suspicion. I am Dr. Sophia, and as a kidney specialist, I have spent years sitting across from patients who came to me confused, frightened, and facing consequences they never saw coming. People full of life, people who exercised, who tried to eat well, who went to their checkups, and yet they arrived at my office when the damage was already very advanced. When the options on the table were dialysis, a transplant, or learning to live with a body that can no longer clean itself the way it was designed to. The question I hear most often in those moments is always the same. Doctor, how did I not realize? And the answer breaks my heart every single time, because the honest answer is, nobody told them clearly enough. Nobody sat down with them and named the everyday enemies hiding in plain sight. Nobody gave them the information in time. That is why I am here today. On this channel, Wellness by Dr. Sophia, my mission has never simply been to treat illness. It has always been to prevent it. And today, I am going to break the silence that has cost too many people too much. I am going to speak to you, not in medical language that requires a textbook to decode, but clearly and directly, the way I would speak to someone sitting right across from me in my office. I am going to reveal the hidden poisons that are quietly intoxicating your kidneys. And the most alarming truth of all is that you have almost certainly consumed at least one of them already today. Stay with me through this entire video. What you learn here may genuinely be the most important health information you receive this year. Before we get into the list, I need you to understand something foundational, something that changes the entire way you look at kidney health, especially after the age of 50 or 60. Your kidneys are the most underappreciated organs in the human body. Imagine the most sophisticated water purification system ever engineered, operating 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, without a single vacation. That is what your kidneys do. Every 30 minutes, they filter your entire blood supply, removing toxins, waste products, and excess fluids your body does not need. But they do far more than filter. They regulate your blood pressure. They help your body produce red blood cells so you do not develop anemia. They keep your bones strong by activating vitamin D. They are the silent foundation upon which almost every other system in your body depends. And here is what makes kidney disease so uniquely terrifying. When this system begins to fail, there is no alarm. There is no sharp pain to warn you. Chronic kidney disease is a thief. It moves in quietly, taking a little more with each passing year. By the time recognizable symptoms appear, swelling in the ankles, a fatigue that sleep cannot fix, cramps at night, changes in urination, the damage is often already serious, sometimes irreversible. Now add the reality of aging. Just as our eyesight softens and our hair grays, our kidneys age too. Their filtering capacity, what we call the glomerular filtration rate, decreases naturally with each decade. Think of it like a high-performance engine with many years and many miles of loyal service. It still runs, but it no longer has the same resilience it had at 30. It requires better fuel, gentler conditions, and far more careful handling. And what do most people give it instead? The same habits of a lifetime, the same foods, the same patterns, completely unaware that what was manageable at 40 is quietly catastrophic at 65. Today, I am going to give those hidden dangers a name. I have organized 4 of them into a list, moving from the most common to what I consider the single most destructive of all. Stay with me all the way to number 1, because number 1 is something you will not expect. And it may already be dismantling your kidneys this very morning. Poison number 4, a sedentary lifestyle, the stagnant water that suffocates your kidneys. The first poison on our list may genuinely surprise you, because it is not something you eat or drink. It is something you simply do not do. I am talking about prolonged inactivity, a sedentary lifestyle. Hours spent sitting, morning to afternoon to evening, moving from the bed to the chair to the couch and back again. And you might be wondering, what does sitting have to do with my kidneys? The answer is everything. Your kidneys depend entirely on a strong, consistent flow of blood to do their job properly. Think of a powerful river. The water moves with force, carries everything downstream, and stays clean and clear. Now think of a stagnant puddle. Mud settles, algae grows, the water becomes murky and toxic. Your circulatory system is that river. When you move, when you walk, when you stretch, when you climb a flight of stairs, your heart pumps more vigorously. Blood circulates with energy and purpose throughout your body, reaching the millions of microscopic filters inside your kidneys with the force they need to do their work. But when you spend long hours sitting without movement, everything slows. Circulation becomes sluggish, like water that has stopped flowing. And in that stagnation, the kidney's worst enemies find perfect conditions to take root: obesity, hypertension, type 2 diabetes. When you do not move, your body does not utilize blood sugar efficiently. Insulin resistance develops quietly. The pancreas works harder. Weight accumulates. Blood pressure rises. Each additional kilogram of body weight is a direct additional burden on the kidneys, demanding more filtration, more effort, more from a system that is already aging. The solution is not to become an athlete overnight. I want to be very clear about that. The solution is simply to move consistently. Set an alarm on your phone every hour and stand up when it rings. Walk around your home. Fetch a glass of water. Stretch your arms above your head. That single act already reactivates circulation in a meaningful way. From there, build toward a daily walk. Begin with 10 minutes around the block. The following week, 15. Consistency matters infinitely more than intensity. If mobility challenges make walking difficult, there are powerful exercises available from a chair. Move your arms, lift your knees alternately, rotate your ankles, roll your shoulders. Everything counts. Every movement sends a fresh wave of healthy, oxygenated blood toward your kidneys. Remember the river. Every step you take keeps it flowing. Poison number 3, the deception of harmless pain pills. We move now to poison number 3. And this one hides in the most trusted place in your home, the medicine cabinet. I am talking about the pill you reach for automatically when a headache arrives, when your back aches after a long day, when your knees flare up from arthritis. The non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs. The NSAIDs, ibuprofen, naproxen, diclofenac, names every household recognizes. Millions of people take these medications regularly, without hesitation, believing that because they require no prescription, they must be safe. That is the great and dangerous deception. They are genuinely effective for pain. Nobody disputes that. But frequent use, chronic use, or use in high doses can be devastating to the kidneys, particularly in adults over 60. Let me explain how this works in a way that makes it impossible to forget. For your kidneys to receive adequate blood flow, your body produces natural compounds called prostaglandins that keep the small arteries feeding the kidneys properly open and relaxed. NSAIDs work by blocking prostaglandins throughout the body to reduce pain and inflammation. But they cannot distinguish between the prostaglandins causing your knee pain and the prostaglandins protecting your kidney blood supply. They block both simultaneously. The result is that the kidney arteries constrict. They tighten. The flow of blood and oxygen reaching those delicate filters is dramatically reduced. Imagine stepping on the garden hose while a plant needs water. The flow stops. The plant begins to dry from the inside out. That is what happens to your kidneys. And the cruelest part is the silence. Taking these pills daily for chronic pain is like stepping on that hose every day, releasing it and stepping on it again. Over months and years, the filters become scarred. Their function declines, and no symptom alerts you until the damage is already advanced. The solution is to be both compassionate with your pain and intelligent about how you address it. Never manage chronic pain with self-prescribed NSAIDs over weeks or months. If pain persists beyond a few days, the answer is not more pills. It is an examination to understand the source. There is a critical difference between silencing an alarm and putting out the fire. Additionally, be completely transparent with your doctor about everything you take, including vitamins, herbal products, and over-the-counter cold or sleep remedies, many of which contain hidden NSAIDs. For occasional pain, paracetamol, acetaminophen, is generally safer for the kidneys when used correctly and within appropriate doses. Physical therapy, therapeutic heat, cold compresses, and targeted stretching can reduce pain without touching the kidneys at all. Use NSAIDs when genuinely necessary. Never depend on them daily without direct medical supervision. The kidneys will quietly pay the price long before you feel it. Poison number 2, salt, the invisible enemy already on your table. Poison number 2 may be the most underestimated substance on this entire list. It lives in every kitchen in the world. It has been used for thousands of years, and almost no one realizes how much of it they are actually consuming every single day. I am talking about salt, or more precisely, sodium. When I raise this topic with patients, the response is almost always the same. But Dr. Sophia, I barely use the salt shaker, and I understand that response completely. Because that is precisely the misunderstanding. The problem is not the salt you consciously add to your plate. The devastating problem is the sodium buried inside processed foods, hidden in quantities most people would find shocking. Research consistently estimates that more than 75% of the sodium we consume daily comes not from the salt shaker, but from packaged, processed, and restaurant-prepared foods. It is in the bread you eat at breakfast, in the processed meats and cheeses at lunch, in canned soups, bottled sauces, frozen dinners, crackers, and condiments. The food industry uses sodium to extend shelf life and intensify flavor, and it does so in amounts that far exceed what your body was ever designed to handle. Here is why this matters so profoundly for your kidneys. And your body requires a small, precise amount of sodium to function. When you flood it with far more than it needs, the body attempts to restore balance by retaining water, pulling fluid into the bloodstream to dilute the excess sodium. Blood volume increases. The pressure inside your arteries rises. That is hypertension. And hypertension is the second leading cause of kidney failure in the world. The filters inside your kidneys are composed of impossibly delicate, microscopic blood vessels. Now imagine forcing a firefighter's pressure hose through a silk cloth. The fabric tears instantly. That is what sustained high blood pressure does to your kidney filters, day after day, week after week, damaging them, scarring them, and progressively destroying their ability to do their job. It is a vicious cycle. The kidneys become less effective at regulating blood pressure, which causes blood pressure to rise further, which causes more kidney damage. The solution begins with becoming a label reader. Turn every package over and look for the word sodium in the nutritional information. You will be genuinely shocked by what you find in foods that taste nothing like salt. Certain breakfast cereals, flavored crackers, bread, even some yogurts. The general recommendation is to stay below 2,300 milligrams of sodium daily. If you already have hypertension, aim for 1,500 milligrams. Cook at home as often as you possibly can, because in your own kitchen, you control every ingredient. Rediscover the extraordinary world of herbs and spices. Garlic, fresh onion, black pepper, oregano, rosemary, turmeric, cumin, smoked paprika, a squeeze of lemon, a splash of vinegar. These transform food into something deeply flavorful without a single milligram of sodium. And if you use canned vegetables or beans, rinse them thoroughly under cold running water before eating. That one simple step removes a significant portion of the added sodium. Within a few weeks of reducing processed food and cooking with herbs, something remarkable happens. Your taste buds recalibrate. You begin to taste the actual flavor of real food. And what once seemed like enough salt will start to taste overwhelmingly salty. That recalibration is your body returning to its natural baseline. Poison number 1, sugar and refined flour, the sweet and silent destroyers. And now we arrive at the end of our list. We have spoken about inactivity, about pain medications, and about hidden sodium, all formidable enemies of kidney health. But what I am about to present to you now is what I consider, without hesitation, the single most dangerous, most pervasive, most addictive, and most destructive kidney poison in the modern diet. This is not a rare chemical. It is not an industrial additive with an unpronounceable name. It is something we associate with comfort, with celebration, with love and reward and childhood memories. I am talking about sugar and its inseparable partner in destruction: refined flour, white bread, white pasta, pastries, cookies, soft drinks, packaged juices, sweetened cereals, desserts of every kind. In my years of clinical practice, this duo is the single most common thread I trace back through the histories of patients who eventually require dialysis. It is not a coincidence, it is biology. And I want you to understand exactly why, because when you truly understand the mechanism, you cannot unsee it. Sugar and refined flour do not launch a single attack against your kidneys. They launch a coordinated assault from multiple directions simultaneously. The first front is the most direct. The number one cause of kidney failure worldwide is not infection, it is not injury, it is diabetes, specifically type 2 diabetes. And the primary driver of type 2 diabetes is chronic overconsumption of sugar and the refined carbohydrates that convert to sugar almost instantly inside your body. Every time you eat them, they trigger a rapid surge of glucose into the bloodstream. The pancreas responds by releasing insulin to manage it. Do this repeatedly, day after day, year after year, and the cells of your body gradually stop responding to insulin's signal. Sugar remains elevated in the blood. Diabetes develops. Once blood glucose stays chronically high, the damage to the kidneys is severe and progressive. Elevated sugar literally damages the delicate filtration structures inside the kidneys, stiffening them, scarring them, and destroying their function over time. This is diabetic nephropathy, and it is the fastest, most well-documented pathway to dialysis that exists. The second front is blood pressure. For decades, we believed sodium was the sole dietary villain for hypertension. The science has since become far more nuanced. We now know that a diet chronically high in sugar raises blood pressure through multiple mechanisms, independent of salt intake entirely. So even if you are carefully watching your sodium, sugar continues its attack on the very same vulnerable kidney blood vessels. The third front is inflammation. Sugar is fuel for chronic inflammation inside the body. It damages the inner lining of blood vessels, including the extraordinarily delicate vessels threading through your kidney filters, creating a state of persistent, low-grade injury that accumulates silently over years. The fourth front is metabolic. Excess sugar that your body cannot immediately burn is converted into fat, stored in and around organs, contributing to obesity and depositing in the liver to create fatty liver disease. Each of these conditions, obesity, fatty liver, metabolic syndrome, places additional compounding strain on already stressed kidneys. 4 simultaneous fronts. This is why I call it the number one poison without hesitation. But here is the truth I most want you to hold on to from this video. You can fight back. And the path forward is not about perfection or deprivation. It is about awareness and intelligent, gradual choices. Begin by learning sugar's many disguises on ingredient labels. High fructose corn syrup, dextrose, maltose, sucrose, cane juice. These are all sugar wearing different clothes. The next step, perhaps the single most powerful change available to you, is eliminating liquid sugar. Soft drinks, commercial fruit juices, sweetened iced teas, energy drinks, flavored coffees. A single can of soda can contain more than 10 teaspoons of sugar. Replace these with water, sparkling water with a slice of lemon, or unsweetened herbal infusions. This single substitution can produce measurable changes in blood sugar, blood pressure, and body weight within weeks. Be cautious of products marketed as low-fat. When manufacturers remove fat from a product, they almost universally replace it with sugar to restore flavor and palatability. A plain, full-fat yogurt is frequently a far better choice than a sweetened low-fat version. Add your own fresh fruit and control exactly what goes in. Replace white refined grains with genuinely whole grain alternatives. Real whole grain bread, brown rice, rolled oats, quinoa, lentils. The fiber in these foods slows the absorption of sugar into the bloodstream, preventing the sharp glucose spikes that damage kidney filters over time. And above all, return to real, whole food. Vegetables, fruits, legumes, quality proteins, eggs, fish, nuts, seeds. When your diet is anchored in foods that grew from the earth or lived a natural life, refined sugar and flour nearly disappear from your plate as if by their own accord. Breaking the hold that sugar has over your daily eating is the single most powerful act of protection available to your kidneys. It is not easy, but it is absolutely possible, and it is absolutely worth it. We have walked a meaningful path together today. 4 silent poisons, now named and exposed. Number 4. A sedentary lifestyle that stagnates circulation and opens the door for diabetes and hypertension. Number 3. Pain medications that can strangle the blood supply your kidneys depend on. Number 2. Hidden sodium that drives blood pressure into the danger zone day after day. Number 1. Sugar and refined flour, launching a total, multi-front assault on your kidney health from the inside out. You may feel a weight after hearing all of this. That is completely understandable. But I need you to hear what I am about to say very clearly. My purpose is never to frighten you. My purpose is to empower you. Because the truth, even when it is uncomfortable, is the only foundation upon which real, lasting change can be built. Kidney disease does not have to be your story. Every single one of these poisons is within your power to address. You decide whether you stand up and move. You decide whether you speak to your doctor before reaching for a pain pill. You decide whether you read the label before you buy. You decide whether you choose water instead of soda today. No single decision changes everything overnight, but every conscious choice is one more brick in the wall of protection you are building around your kidneys. If this video opened your eyes or gave you something you needed to hear, I ask you to do one important thing: share it. Send it to someone you love, a partner, a sibling, a friend, a parent, because life-saving information must circulate as freely as the blood we are working to protect. And leave me a comment below. Tell me which of these 4 poisons surprised you most. Tell me what you are going to change starting today. I read every comment on this channel, and this community, your stories, your questions, your progress, is the reason Wellness by Dr. Sophia exists. Your kidneys have worked tirelessly for you every second of every day of your entire life. They have never asked for recognition. They have never demanded rest. Return the favor. Give them the conditions they deserve, beginning with the decisions you make today. I am Dr. Sophia. Thank you for being here. Take care of your kidneys, take care of your life, and I will see you in the next video.